How did you spend your 3 holidays? Talia,
Stay at home.
you just stay at home. Don't you visit around relatives?
No, I
No.
couldn't.
Okay. Elvin, how about you?
2 day is staying at home, and 1 day is visiting my relatives.
Okay. Did you? How did you spend your holiday?
I stay at home chair.
You just stay at home?
Yes.
Then?
I go to my grandmother's house.
Okay, you go to your grandmother's house. Chu, how about you, Chu? Hello, Chu. Can you please unmute your microphone? Yeah? How did you spend your holidays? Sorry?
I stay at home, teacher.
You just stay at home. All right. Lolo, how about you, Lolo?
I went to Shiragong Pagoda and walk ship,
Okay.
like starting from Tuesday to Thursday.
2 days? You visited 2 days or
No,
you
3
just stay
days,
there?
all the danger days.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And great. And how about Nika?
Now, only I wish my village.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. What can you put on, no? Okay, Taka, how about you?
Nothing special, chair. Just stay at
Nothing
home.
special. You just stay home. And Lynn,
Sorry, what's the question? I just trying like.
okay. A, how about you, A?
Stay home.
You guys stay at home, and if I knew that, you should better review my lessons. If I knew that, I will give you lots of homework. You guys, almost all of you guys stay at home. Okay. Now we're gonna go to lesson 3. Before we go to unit 3, I gave you one homework, right? What is it? This one, so as, number 5. So some of you sent me the paper that you already submitted, and some of you haven't. So for those all of you, I will give the answer here. You can mark your line, I'll share it. 2 နဲ့ရေးထားတယ်ရှင့်2ကမှန်တော့မှန်တယ် Number 1 is already written, right? Number 2, you can use the internet or to find out or in order to find out. But here in the lessons, the lesson wants you to use in order to သုံးခိုင်းတာเนาะဒီမှာ Number 2 answer is in order to. Number 3, take your mobile. You can phone me when you are ready to come home. So that. Or you need to study for that at least 5 years in order to become a doubter. Number 5 answer is, let's do our homework now. We can watch the match on TV later. so that, because this is given the consequences. Number 6, our teacher asks us to be quiet so as not to disturb the students during the exam. Next lessons. Okay, next classroom. So we use in number 6 we use so as because it is number 1 it is a negative sentence and it is start with above, right? Disturb is above, so you have to use so as. Okay, if you have copied the correct answer, let's go to unit 3. Unit 3 is river and coast. It's about river and coast. Is there anybody who are interested in geography? Geology? Anyone else? No one? Yes. So rivers and coast, even if you are not interested in river and coast, we're gonna have to learn it and we're gonna have some sort of the vocabularies. We're gonna learn some vocabularies that are useful. So how do you think to this unit we're gonna learn about the river Nile? Do you think rivers are important to people or not? A, tell me, are rivers important to people?
Yes, I think.
Why? Why do you think so?
When we travel in forest, if
Mhm.
we thirsty, we can drink from rivers
Yes,
and we can shower.
yes. Okay. Nito, do you think rivers are important?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Hamikuko, how about you? Do you think rivers are important?
Yes.
Do you think rivers are important? Rivers, streams like these things are important to us. တချို့တို့အတွက် rivers တွေကအရေးကြီးရလို့ထင်တာ
Oh, yes.
Okay, why?
Mm.
Okay, you think it is important, you don't okay, you just only think of yourself why it is important. Okay, Sule, hello Sule,
Yes, teacher.
do you think rivers are important to us?
Yes, rivers are important.
Okay, why?
Because people cannot live without water and also plants.
Yes, that's it. Rivers are the main matters we can get fresh water, right? And rivers are the main point or the main thing for us, especially to grow the crops and paddies or something like this. So from paddy fields we got rice, right? Which is the main food source of us. So rivers are important. And do you believe that rivers can kill people? Yes. Why? Do you believe that?
We will float in the river.
Yes.
Heartbeat, we can die.
Okay. If there is a flood over near the river and we can die. Thank you. Let's go to reading. Okay, so before we go to reading, do you see the topics So the topics is about Nile, the Nile and the ancient Egyptians. Pause book, no? Page number below. What is page number? I think page number is
24, teacher.
24. Yes, thank you. Page number 24. River and coast. In these topics, we're going to learn about the River Nile and the ancient Egyptians. Egyptians are the people who live in Egypt, and the water cycle, and the Amazon River and the rainforest, Robinson Crusoe Island. These are the things we're going to learn in this unit. And for the use of English, we have to learn about non-defining and defining relative clauses, which are very important in your writing. Okay, so while you are learning this one, please be careful. And I'm gonna check your writing later. Check writing is the writing is kind of the unit can. Okay, why rivers are important to people? The Nile. Please read the first, I think 2 lines or 1 line is enough. တစ်ယောက်ကိုတစ်ကြောင်းစီလောက်ဆိုရ3ကြောင်းမကလောက် Okay, so read 2 lines by each. Start from Lane.
The Nile is the longest river in the world. It flows from south to north, and it has no source at Lake Victoria in
Yes, Uganda.
The White Nile, and another at Lake
Dana,
Tana in
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, the Blue Nile. In total is 6,370 kilometers long.
Yes, thank you very much. As I explore, many of the sentences are very long. I think you, for the next people, you should read just only 1 sentence. Talia,
Want to read 2 or 1?
1. The Asian.
The ancient Egyptians called the river R or
R.
it means black because of the black sediment left behind after the frequent river floods.
Great. Next one, Laminggo.
Yes, the ancient Greek called the river Cam, which also means black.
Yes. How come?
The name Nile comes from another Greek word, Niles, which means river valley.
Great. Tazin?
The area that Nile covers is so vast that it has several different climate areas.
Okay. Taka.
In the north and Egypt and Sudan, there is very little rain.
1 more sentence.
Further south in and around Ethiopia, rainfall is heavy, so this keeps the river flowing. Eventually creating the very
fertile
soil in Egypt and North Sudan.
Great, thank you. And next one is Elvin.
There are dams such as the one at Aswan, which have been built across the river to prevent flooding in populated areas along the banks of the Nile.
The Nile Delta in northern Egypt is where the river spreads out and flows into the Mediterranean Sea.
Great. Hey.
From north to south, the delta is about 160 kilometers long.
1 more sentence, please.
From west to east, it covers about 20 or 240 kilometers of coastline.
Okay, thank you. Pichu. Hello, Chu.
It begins just downriver from Cairo.
Yes, this is Cairo. Yes. Well, one more sentence.
Sea doesn't have a strong tide, but it is enough to bring still water into the Nile estuaries to mix with the river freshwater.
Okay. Alone.
And in the marshes and lagoons, there are saltwater crocodiles, the biggest living reptiles in the world.
Okay. 大家都你看，你看这波လုံးပြဖတ်တော့တယ် I'm kidding. Okay, 你看我ပြီးမှမေးခွန်းအရင်မေးမယ်နော် All right, now we're gonna you read by yourself two passage, the first two passage. The first two passage. Have you read two paragraphs?
Not yet, teacher.
Okay. All right. So for those who have already read it, look up the, if you know the word I underline is fine. If you don't know the word I underline, please look up in your dictionary or think about the meaning. All right. Shall I ask the questions right now? I wanted to start with Nikat. Nikat? Hello?
Yes, sure.
What is the name of the longest river in the world?
Nine,
저
nine.
Yes, it's the Nile. Okay. And this one is for Chuchu. How long is Nile? How long is Nile?
66, 17 kilometer.
Yes. Okay. So we call, yeah, thank you very much. Your answer is correct. And if we say this word, we call 6,670 kilometers. Okay. 0.6 thousand or 6,000 670 kilometers. Okay, thank you very much. And next one is why is for A. Why do ancient Egyptians call river R or R?
They call or meaning flag.
Yes.
And
Because
because of the black sediment right after the frequent river floods.
yes. Okay. Where does Lolo,
Yes, Jim.
where does the word Nile come from?
And the Nile comes from another Greek word, Nilos, which means river valley.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So for all of you, do you understand the passages? The passage you know la? I know. In the first passage, the Nile is the longest river in the world. This is the introduction. It flows from south to north, and it has one source at Lake Victoria and Uganda. Have you ever heard about the word Uganda? The name Uganda? I think in a Marvel movie. Do you watch
It's
Marvel
a
movie?
country.
It's a country, yes. So Uganda is a country in South America, the South Africa, and other lake as Tana in Ethiopia. So two is sources from two or three, right? At Lake Victoria. Oh no, two places, and one is from Lake Victoria and one is from Lake Tana. Okay, so the Victoria is in Uganda. This is the country name, yes. And then Lake Tana is in Ethiopia. This is also the country. It's the African country. And in total, it is 6,670 kilometers long. So this is very long river because this is the longest river in the world. Okay, and ancient Egyptians called the river R or R, meaning black, because the black sediment left behind after the frequent river floods. In here, you will see the word frequent, right? So it means it happens all the time. Yeah, frequent, you will see that. Frequent, because it say frequent because it happen usually, okay, very often. ဒါဆိုရင်ဒီလိုဒါကမကြာခဏဖြစ်တတ်တဲ့အရာမလို့သူက frequent လို့သုံးတာနော် so after the flood, so when the tide come up and then it floods the area, and after the flood and it left sediments, the black sediment left behind. So what is sediment? Celia,
Yes.
do you know what is sediment?
Yes. It is like the thing that is below the liquid.
Yes, such as yes, sometimes it can be some scent or something like this. Yes. And the ancient Greek called the river Kam. Greek called Kam, it also means black. Okay, so in Asian, they so Egyptian call R or R. It is also the black. So for Egypt language, if we say R or R, this is the meaning of black. And for Greek people, they call Kam. It is also the meaning is black. Okay, the name now comes from another Greek word, Nilos, which means river valley. Okay, so this is also come from the Greek word Nilos. Nile is come from Greek word. So the original name of the Nile come from Greek word. Okay, let's go to third and fourth paragraph. Please read the third and fourth paragraph. Amiko, have you read the passages? Laila.
Yeah, sure.
So you all have to read the area of the Nile covered, blah, 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 to it begins just down the river from Cairo. Neto, have you finished?
No, teacher.
Not yet? Okay. For those who have finished their reading, please think about the possible meaning of fatal, swai, downs, and delta. Talia, have you finished?
No,
Okay. Yes, keep on reading. It's fine. Sule, have you finished your reading?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Chuchu.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So all of you have finished your reading, right? Azin? Finished?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. And this question goes to Azin. Okay. So true or false? The climate that across the Nile River is only one climate. True or false?
False.
False. Okay. How many climates area does it have?
It has several different climate area.
Yes. Okay. And next one is the car. In Ethiopia, the rain is very little. True or false?
True.
True.
Ethiopia and not Ethiopia, false.
False. Okay. False is correct. Next one. Alvin. Why the hello? Why people build dams? Why do people build dams?
To prevent flooding in populated areas along the banks of the Nile.
Okay, thank you. And next is Sule.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. What flow into the Mediterranean Sea?
The Nile Delta.
Yes, the Nile Delta. Thank you. Lynn.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many kilometers does it long from north to south of the delta?
It's about 160 kilometers.
Okay. How about west to east?
240 kilometers.
Okay. Okay, let's read the last paragraph, the Mediterranean Sea, by yourself. I believe that you may have finished the reading, but you might not know some sort of the meanings such as marshes, lagoons, freshwater, saltwater, and reptiles. Okay. So if you have read it, it's fine. Just only emphasize my question. This time question, I forgot to ask you guys some sort of the words, the definition of the words, right? Okay, I will ask this time. I will ask Lolo. What is a fertile soil? Fertile soil. How do you
It,
define yourself?
um,
Yes.
like an impermeosa.
Yes. In English, it gives. It's fine. It's fine. So fertile soil are the soil that give a lot of how can I say, fertilize. It's like such a fertilizer that support to grow the plants more easily, and then more, how can I say, better and more easily. So this is fertile soil, and this time this time who's left? A. Hello, A.
Yes,
Yes. Do you okay? What is delta?
teacher is in I was in Myanmar and it's in New
Delta. New Jumbo. Okay, in Myanmar is New Jumbo. Okay, fine. So delta are the veins that usually it has the flat area. Okay, သူကပုံစံကြတော့ပြက်ပြပေါ့နော်ပြပြီးတော့ and then they spread out in order to flow into the sea. Okay, next one is what is okay, this time I would like to ask Elvin. What okay, what water are we using right now to drink, to take a bath? Salt water or fresh water?
Fresh water.
Yes, fresh water. Right. And this time, okay, Lynn,
Yes.
what is marshes?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that.
How about lagoons?
I don't know that too.
All right. Do you know anything? It's like tides.
Reptiles. They're like
Reptiles.
snakes,
Okay.
crocodiles. Yeah, like.
Yes. Just crocodiles or reptiles. Any other thing? Like lizard.
Lizards. Yeah.
Snakes. Oh, okay. Yes, snakes. Is there anybody who know marshes? Come from marsh.
I only know in Mami.
Okay, what is it?
Say.
Thangy. Yes. Marshes are the wet and the soft area. Okay, wet and soft area which is usually near the river. Is there anybody who know lagoons? Lagoons.
I only know in Burmese.
Yes. What is it?
It's like a lot of pool. Gigani.
Yes, it's pool. But lagoons and pool are different. If we say pool has the fresh water, but lagoons has the salt water. Okay. Okay, so let me explain a little bit from the third paragraph to the last paragraph. So the third paragraph, the area that the Nile cover is so vast that it has several different climate areas. So if we say vast, mean big or very long, okay? So the Nile cover. So the Nile, the places that Nile go through are very big because the Nile is very long, right? So it has also very different climate areas. For example, the places that has the little rains are Egypt and Jordan, okay? So these are Mediterranean countries. So this country, they have a very little rain because there are lots of desert there. Desert there. Do you know that, right? Do you know desert? Okay. Desert ဆိုတာကန္နာရတွေပြောเนาะသူတို့ကန္နာရတွေရမ်းများပြီးတော့ပူတဲ့နိုင်ငံဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်တိတ်ပြီးတော့မိုးတွေမရွာဘူးเนาะ and in the south around Ethiopia the rainfall is very heavy. Okay, this is an African country and at the time in Ethiopia the rainfall is very heavy. It rains a lot. Okay, so မိုးအရမ်းရွာတာပေါ့เนาะ so it keeps river flowing, eventually creating a very fertile swamp in Egypt and Jordan. So မိုးရမ်းရွာတဲ့နေရာနေပြီးတော့တချို့ကသွားတာပေါ့နော်သွားတဲ့အခါကျတော့ Egypt တွေ Jordan တွေကမိုးနေပြီမဲ့လည်းဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့သူတို့စီမှာရေတွေများပြီးတော့ fertile soil တွေကသူတို့စီမှာသွားပြီးပုံတယ်ပေါ့နော် fertile soil ဆိုတာကဘာကိုပြောရလဲဆိုတော့ကျတို့မြေဩဇာပေါ့နော်မြေဩဇာကိုပြောမြေဩဇာမှာကျတို့ fertilizer ဆိုတာက man made ပေါ့နော် fertilizer is the man made nourishment things to the planet, so to the plants, but fertile soil is the original one and then it is got from nature. Okay, and there are dams such as one as Oswan, which has been built across the river to prevent flooding in populated area along the banks of Nile. Okay, so many dams such as Oswan, they are built to prevent overflood. Okay, ရေအရမ်းကြီးတာကိုကာကွယ်ဖို့အတွက်သူတို့ကရေထိန်းတဲ့ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲရေထိန်းတဲ့ကားဓာတ်တွေပေါ့နော်ရေထိန်းတဲ့ကားဓာတ်တွေကိုလုပ်ထားတယ် and okay, let's move on. So because there are many people live in the bank of the river Nile, why do you think many people live in the bank of river Nile? River Nile မှာဘာဖြစ်လို့လူတွေအများကြီးနေကြလို့ထင်နေတော့
Maybe there is no space to live in big cities.
Yes. Okay, thank you for your idea. And anyone else?
Because they want a lot of water if they want.
Yes, they can get a lot of water if they want. Anyone else?
They can get
Yeah.
we can get the very fertile soil for farming.
Oh yes, Sule. And Lynn, how do you think?
I think because of they can make like transporting like from water like ships
Yes.
and have very large place and that
Yes.
the soil is very good so they can make like feeding planting
Yes.
and export to other countries. That's fine.
Yes, that's right. So usually because the area is populated, that's because of there are fertile soil and many plants and crops can be grown. So very fast and then very good plants and crops. That's why many people live there because at those times, you can say farming is the popular business. Okay. အဲ့တော့အဲ့တုန်းကကြတော့ခြေတို့အပင်စိုက်တာတွေကပဲအဓိကလုပ်တဲ့အလုပ်တွေကိုเนาะ Thank you for your answers. Let's move to next one. The Nile Delta in northern Egypt is where the rivers spread out and flow into the Mediterranean Sea. From north to south, the delta is about 160 kilometers long, and from west to east, it covers about 240 kilometers of coastline. It begins just down the river from Cairo. So the river began from Cairo and then spread out from north to south and east to west. Okay. The Mediterranean Sea doesn't have a strong tide, but it is enough to bring salt water into the Nile. This is estuaries to mix with the river's fresh water. Oh, I forgot to underline this word estuary. Anyone know estuary? No? Okay, let me continue my reading. The Nile estuary to mix with the river's fresh water. In the marshes and lagoons, there are saltwater crocodiles, the biggest living reptiles in the world. Okay, Mediterranean Sea doesn't have a strong tide. What is tide in Burmese?
ဒီ
ဒီရေနော်ဒီရေကိုပြောတာနော်ဒီရေတွေကသူတို့စီမှာအရန်တော့ဒီရေတွေကမကြည့်ဘူးပေါ့နော်မကြည့်ဘူးဆိုတော့ရေအရန်မတက်ဘူးလို့ပြောချင်တာ but it is enough to bring salt water into the Nile's estuary to mix with the river's fresh water. Estuary is the mouth of the river. သူကဒီ estuary ကကြတော့ဒီကျတော့ဒီဘယ်လိုပြောပင်လယ်ထဲကိုစီးဝင်မဲ့နေရပေါ့နော်မြစ်ကနေပြီးတကယ်တော့မြစ်တွေကပင်လယ်ထဲကိုစီးရမလားမြစ်တွေကရေကြိုတွေနော်စီးရတာရေငံနဲ့စီးမှာအဲ့တော့ပင်လယ်ထဲကိုစီးဖို့အတွက်သွားတဲ့လမ်းကြောင်းပေါ့နော်သွားတဲ့နေရာကို estuaries လို့ခေါ်တာအဲ့တော့ estuaries fresh water ဒီသူက with the river mixed with fresh water အဲ့တော့သူကဒီဘက်က river က fresh water ဟိုဘက်က salt water အဲ့ဥစ္စာ mix ဖြစ်သွားဖို့အတွက် estuary ကနေဖြတ်သွားတာပေါ့နော် and in the marshes and lagoons there were အဲ့မှာရှိနေတဲ့ marshes ကပါခုနကတော့ပြော marshes ကပါ
စိတ်
ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့တော့စိတ်ရည်တွေပြောတာနော်စိတ်ရည်တွေက lagoon ဆိုတာရေအိုင်နေအဲ့တော့စိတ်ရည်တွေရေအိုင်နေရတဲ့ဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ရေအိုင်နေထဲမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နော်စိတ်ရည်ဆိုတာဆိုမြေပျော့လေးလေအဲ့တော့မိချောင်းတွေကလူဟိုရွှွတ်နေဘူးပြောအဲ့လိုနေရာနေမှာပေါ့အဲ့တော့အဲ့နေရာလေးတွေကဆိုလို့ရှိရင် crocodiles တွေရှိတယ်အဲ့ crocodiles တွေကပါလေ the biggest living reptiles in the world ကမ္ဘာပေါ်မှာအကြီးဆုံးသွားမျိုးစိတ်တွေ Okay, do you understand the whole passage? All of you? If you would like to know something or don't clear my explanation, you may ask right now. ကျွန်တော်ခုမေးလို့ရတယ်ဘယ်လိုနားမလဲဆိုရင်ပုံနားလဲနော် Okay ဒီနားမလဲဆိုရင်ရှင်မေးနော်ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့တခါလေကြာရင်ကိုမေးလိုက်တဲ့ဥစ္စာကကိုသိကျင်တဲ့ဥစ္စာတခြားသူသိကျင်တာလည်းဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်တခြားသူကထုတ်ပြီးတော့မမေးရဖြစ်နိုင်အဲ့ဆိုကိုလည်းရရတခြားသူလည်းရပါဘောနော် All right, let's move on. မရှိတော့ဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့ဒီရက်ဆက်သွားမယ်နော် Okay, go to number 2. Number 2လေးကိုကြည့်လိုက်ပါဦး Exercise number 2. We will guess the answer together. Okay, find the word in the text for each of the following definitions. 1 to 8. အခုလိုက်ရှာပြီးတော့ချက်ကိုဟိုပါလဲဒီသုံးမြတ်ချက် box ကိုပို့လို့ရလားသုံးမြတ်ချက် box ကိုရလားအကုန်လုံး typing ရိုက်လို့ရလားဒါမှမဟုတ်ရင်ချက်ကို Viber ပဲပို့ပေးကြသုံးမြတ်ချက် box ကိုအကုန်ပို့လို့ရလားရတယ်နော်မရတဲ့သူရှင်ပြောပါဦးမရှိဘူးနော်ဒါဆိုရင် Zoom မှာရှိတဲ့ chat box လေးသိလားပြောဒီမှာ chat box လေးနော်ဒီမှာအကုန်လုံးပို့လို့ပို့ကြပါတယ် Okay ဒါဆိုလို့ရှိရင် message ဖြစ်သွားတော့ you find the words and then send to me ချက်ကိုအဲ့အဖြေကိုရှာပြီးတော့ချက်ကိုပို့ပေးပါအခုလုပ်ပြီနော် So number 1ကိုကြည့်ကြည့်အောင် the place where a river starts river လေးစစချင်းဖြစ်တဲ့နေရာဆိုတော့ source နော်သူ့ရဲ့အချင်းမြစ် Being the layer of mud, sandstones, etc. that form at the bottom of the river. Okay. ကြည့်ကြည့်ပါဦးမှားတာမှန်တာကိစ္စမရှိပါဘူးဒီချက်ကို chat ကနေပို့ပြီနော် personal လည်းပို့လို့ရတယ် personal chat လည်းရှိရနော်ဒီထဲမှာဆိုရင်ဒီ chat ကိုဒီမှာ Tr Thuzar name လို့ပေါ်လိုက်မယ်အဲ့ဥစားလေးရွေးပြီးတော့ပို့လိုက်ရတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ် everyone ကိုနေတာ Okay, I got select maybe. Okay. I'll go. I'll go. Yeah. Tight Manchester. Into It was sort like what you call a shilly. Okay, that's the way. Teachers in my do your place. Let yeah. Let the yeah. I'll go yeah. Your lane Elvin yeah. Nature yeah, no. Then do it, you know. I'm going to go lane. Water. Amigo, are you okay? I'm gone to you. You too. Are you okay? Okay. 你看，Okay, number 4, 7 is missing.
I don't know the answer.
Okay. Okay.
Sure, can I just send in the Bible because my
Yes, it's
laptop
fine.
keyboard has some error.
Okay, it's all right. I check the Bible. I'm gonna go.
teacher 不နေလို့
Oh, okay. All right. Hello. Teacher ဒီထဲမှာပို့နေလို့ဆိုပြီးမှ teacher ဆက်လိုက်ပါနော်။တရားပို့။အော်စင်တစ်ခါရောက်ပြီ။ Uncle, are you sending me from Viber or some chat? Sure. Okay, I got you. Answer and okay. Lane. All right. ဒါဆိုရင်ဒီချက်အဖြေလေးစစ်ကြအောင်နော်ဒီမှာအကုန်လုံးမှန်တဲ့သူတွေလည်းရှိနည်းနည်းလေးဟုတ်ပြီဒါဆိုရင်ဒီမှာအကုန်လုံးမှန်တဲ့သူလည်းရှိရယ်နည်းနည်းလေးပေါ့နော်ဒီလိုဝိုင်းသူလည်းရှိရယ်အဖြေတိုက်ကြည့်ရအောင် So number 2, a layer of mud, sandstone, etc. that form at the bottom of the river. What is it? Bottom of the river or sediment. Right? So, ညီရဲ့အဖြေမှာတွေ့ရတဲ့ဟာပေါ့နော်နှုံးနေတဲ့ဒီပေါ့ Strong walls built across the river to stop the water swing is a dam, right? So we build dams in order not to be flood. And a low flat area of land where the rivers divided into smaller rivers and flow into the sea. This is delta. Delta. The regular rise and fall in the level of the sea. Regular rise and fall in the level of the sea. This is rise and fall. Tide fall. Okay. And the wide part of the river where they go into the sea. This is the river. It is also called river mouth, right? This is Aries, A-R-I-E-S, no? Here, the area of salt wetland. This is Punara. Media of your nose, marshes, and the lake that contains seawater. That contains seawater.
Teacher, marshes is safe. Marshes. So marshes are safe. Safe.
How they say? Say is what it shows. Say ni လို့ပြောရမှာနော်။သူကမြေဖြစ်။မြေကြီးကပျော့ပြီးတော့ရေတွေစိမ့်။ Okay. အဖြေလေးပြန်ကူလိုက်နော်။နည်းနည်းလွဲသွားတယ်ဆိုရင်အကုန်လုံးမှန်တဲ့သူလေးရှိပါတယ်။ Shall we go to listening after that? Okay, ပြီးရင် listening သွားရအောင်။ဒီနေ့က item လေးရနည်းနည်းတော့အားစိုက်ရတယ်။ So do not forget to learn these vocabularies, okay? ဒီ vocabulary မမေ့ပြလိုက်ရနော်။ချဲစာတင်တာပဲသင်ခါရပေါ့ဟုတ်လားတင်တဲ့ခါရရ Okay, let's go to 3 listening. Now you are going to listen to an extract from a documentary about Nile and the ancient Egyptians. Why do you think the Nile was important to them? Discuss the idea as a class. Now listen and chat. Now we'll just only listen. Okay, so we already discussed why do you think for the Egyptians why the Nile River Nile is important? Why do you think Nile, the river Nile is important? You can, so your connection is always down. You can? Does your connection always down?
No.
Why do you close the camera always then? Because you haven't washed your face? And I'm there, Dilula.
Okay. ဟုတ်ပါချေ
ဟုတ်ပါ
ဖုန်းနဲ့ဖြစ်နေလို့
ဖုန်းနဲ့ဆိုဖုန်းနဲ့မှာကျတော့ဖုန်းကင်မရာမှာကျတော့မချောမှာဆိုလို့
မဟုတ်ပါဘူးချေရွာရောက်နေလို့
ဟုတ်ပါပြီ Okay. So why do you think the river Nile is important for Egyptians? Egypt လူမျိုးတွေအတွက်အဲ့ river Nile ကဘာလို့ရေးကြည့်Nile မြစ်က
Because Egypt is a desert country and there's no Nile River, they don't have much water
Yes.
to use like taking bath or drink or planting.
Okay, so this is very important because of their planting, growing the plants, and the main source of water, fresh water. Yes, thank you. Anyone else? So my question, what river is very famous in Myanmar and that it is also known as the lifeblood of Myanmar? What is the name of the river?
Irrawaddy.
Yes, Aori River. Do you guys know? Aori River. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we go to listening. Share listening no? Share song. This is track 5.
5.
People have lived along the banks of the Nile for
Can you hear very clearly? Yeah, no? Okay. Let's go.
thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians.
5.
People have lived along the banks of the Nile for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians planned their lives around the life of the river. Every year in June, the river flooded, but when the floods had gone, the sediment that was left behind provided wonderfully fertile soil to grow crops for food. Cereals, vegetables, and fruit were grown on the banks of the Nile. People could also catch fish in the river. At that time, fish was the main source of animal protein for most people. Apart from cereals, fruit and vegetables, plants such as flax and papyrus were grown on the river banks. Flax was made into rope and linen. Papyrus was made into boats in which you could sail on the river, mats for the house, and material on which you could write. The Nile was important in 2 other ways. It was a very useful defense against enemies because it wasn't easy for them to cross. If they tried, the Egyptians were ready for them. The Nile was also important for transport. The Egyptians were able to carry goods such as gold and linen to trade with other countries around the Mediterranean.
Okay. Did you catch anything from the listening? ခုန teacher တို့တစ်ခေါက်ပဲနားထောင်ရသေးတယ် hash မတရားဘူးဆိုလဲရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ teacher ဘယ်နှလုံးလောက်သိလိုက်လဲ Is there anything that you catch? A.
Asian Egyptian.
Yes, about ancient Egyptians. Yes. And the importance of Nile for ancient Egyptians. Great. And anything else? Maybe you catch a word or what do they grow? Do you catch it? What do they grow on the bank of the river?
A lot of plants, I think.
A lot of plants. Yes. Did you hear anything? Any guys? How do you? Alone.
Is enemies can come to our land.
Yes.
Because
Great.
river is
river cover the country. Okay. Lamin go.
Yes, people live 1,000 years.
Yes, people live. Yes, on the bank of the river, people live thousands of years ago. Yes, since thousands of years ago. Great. And anything, Elvin?
It wasn't easy for enemies to cross the river.
Yes, great. Okay, now we're gonna listen one more time. This time we will have a focus listening. Do you see number 4? Number 4 listen again and answer the question. 1 to 16. There will be 6 questions. Number 1 is in ancient time, when did the river flood? အဲ့တော့ဒီဆောင်းဝဲမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒါအရေးကြီးလဲဆိုတော့ဒီစသချင်းပေါ့နော် So firstly you have to explore your question. Okay, before you listen you will have a time to read your questions. At the time you have to read carefully your questions because you are just only, I think for a checkpoint exam there will be 2 times the audio will be 2 times, but in other exam the audio will be just only 1 time. So you have to get familiar with the questions. Our question နေနဲ့တချို့ကရင်းနှီးနေဖို့လိုတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲကြောင့်သူက question ကိုအရင်ဖတ်ခိုင်းတယ် So firstly, we will read the questions. Question လေးဖတ်မယ် then we will catch up the answer. ပြီးတော့မှကျွန်တော်အဖြေကိုနားထောင်ရင်းနဲ့ catch up လုပ်မယ်နော် Number 1 is in ancient time, when did the river flood? 2. Where were the floods useful for farmers? And 3. What was grown on the bank of the Nile? 4. What is flax? What is papyrus? So you will hear that what flax is used for and what papyrus is used for. အဲ့တော့သူတို့အဲ့မှာပြောမှာတော့သူတို့ဘယ်နေရာမှာသုံးလဲဆိုတာကိုပြောရလိမ့်မယ်နော် And number 5, why was the Nile a useful defense against enemy? This is Elvin already answered. In what other way was the Nile useful to the ancient Egyptians? တခြားနည်းနဲ့ရော Nile River Nile ကဘယ်လိုမျိုး Egyptian တွေကိုအကျိုးပြုသေးလဲပေါ့နော် Okay, so there will be 6 questions. Now we will listen at the same time we'll catch the answers. Let's listen again. No, 5.
People have lived along the banks of the Nile for thousands.
5,
People have lived along the banks of the Nile for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians planned their lives around the life of the river. Every year in June, the river flooded, but when the floods had gone, the sediment that was left behind provided wonderfully fertile soil to grow crops for food. Cereals, vegetables and fruit were grown on the banks of the Nile. People could also catch fish in the river. At that time, fish was the main source of animal protein for most people. Apart from cereals, fruit and vegetables, plants such as flax and papyrus were grown on the river banks. Flax was made into rope and linen. Papyrus was made into boats in which you could sail on the river, mats for the house, and material on which you could write. The Nile was important in 2 other ways. It was a very useful defense against enemies because it wasn't easy for them to cross. If they tried, the Egyptians were ready for them. The Nile was also important for transport. The Egyptians were able to carry goods such as gold and linen to trade with other countries around the Mediterranean.
How many questions did you catch?
Track 6,
How many questions did you catch? How many answers?
Only one.
Only one, okay. The track is a little fast, that's why. Okay. Now we go, how many answers did you get?
Share one.
1. Azin?
3.
Okay, Daka.
4,
4. Talia.
I got all.
Okay, you got all. I'll go.
4.
4 questions. Okay. Now we're gonna listen one more time. There are not a I think the link is already given to you by Teacher Rose, right? Teacher Rose, the listening link ပေးထားပြီမလား။နော်။အဲ့ဆိုတကယ်လို့ဒီမှာနားမလည်လိုက်ဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နားထောင်လာခဲ့ထပ်ပြီးတော့
Track 5,
People have lived along the banks of the Nile for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians planned their lives around the life of the river. Every year in June, the river flooded, but when the floods had gone, the sediment that was left behind provided wonderfully fertile soil to grow crops for food. Cereals, vegetables and fruit were grown on the banks of the Nile. People could also catch fish in the river. At that time, fish was the main source of animal protein for most people. Apart from cereals, fruit and vegetables, plants such as flax and papyrus were grown on the river banks. Flax was made into rope and linen. Papyrus was made into boats in which you could sail on the river, mats for the house, and material on which you could write. The Nile was important in two other ways. It was a very useful defense against enemies because it wasn't easy for them to cross. If they tried, the Egyptians were ready for them. The Nile was also important for transport. The Egyptians were able to carry goods such as gold and linen to trade with other countries around the Mediterranean.
Okay. ကဲဒါဆိုဒီ channel တူတူလိုက်ဖြည့်ကြည့်အောင် Number 1, in ancient times, one did the river flood. What did you catch? One did the river flood. Talia?
In June.
Yes, in June. June lama, no? June lama, okay, number 2, how were the floods useful for farmers? Algong, did you catch it?
Yes, after the flood, the settlement left behind provided good fertile soil for crops.
Yes. Good. Fertile. For farmers. Okay. ဒီဖြေကဒီချင်းနဲ့ကွက်တီတူချင်းမှတူမယ်နော်ဒါကိုဖြေတတ်တယ်လို့ဖြေထားလို့ရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အဖြေရဲ့ logic ကတော့ဒီဟာဖြေရမယ် settlement left behind ဆိုတော့ဒီ settlement နေ left behind ဆိုတော့ကြံခဲ့တယ် provided ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါကနေပြီးတော့ထောက်ပံ့ပေးတယ်ဒါဖြေလိုက်မယ်နော် that provided ဆိုတော့ထောက်ပံ့ပေးတယ် good fertile ဆိုတော့ကျတို့ဒီအမျိုးအစားကောင်းနေပါ for farmers ဆိုတော့စိုက်ပျိုးရေးဒီတောင်သူတွေအတွက် Okay, number 3, what was grown on the bank of the River Nile? River Nile ရဲ့နာမည်ချိုဘာတွေစိုက်လို့ရဘာကြလဲ
Cereals, vegetables, and fruits.
Yeah, cereal, vegetable, and fruits. Number 4, what is flax? What is flax used for? Flax ကဘာတော့သုံးလဲ
They are made into ropes and linens.
Used to make what linen? Yes, L-I-E-N-S. Linens? No. Let me check. Linings. Lining, to make lining, and your part only.
Ropes.
Ropes. How about papyrus? Is used to make part only.
Boats.
Boats, yes. Lady, logo no? Number 5. Why was the Nile useful defense against enemies? Alright. Pablo Nile က enemies တွေရေရန်ကနေပြီးတော့ကာကွယ်ပေးသေးရလေ။နိုင်မြစ်ကပေါ့နော်။ Because
it wasn't easy for them to cross.
It wasn't easy to cross. In what other way was the Nile useful to the ancient Egyptians? Now, one more way.
To transport gold and linens to trade around Mediterranean.
To transport gold and what is it?
Linens.
Gold and
Linens. Linen. She no matter linen. Linen.
oh yes. It to transport gold and linens. Okay. So if you don't know papyrus, I will show you what is it. Yeah, no. This one is papyrus. But this is, in fact, this is this is made as a sheet or made as a paper. ကျတို့ဒီမှာဆို page စာတွေလိုမျိုးပဲပေါ့နော် paper အနေနဲ့သူကသုံးလို့ရတယ် papyrus ကလေဒီမှာဆိုရင်တော့ဘာအနေနဲ့သုံးလဲလှေလုပ်ဖို့အတွက်သုံးနော်အဲ့တော့ဒီအဖြေလေးကိုမမီလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ပြန်ကူးထားပါ please copy these answers because you're gonna have to make the summary for the flax papyrus, dash fence, and transport. Check ကိုပုံစံနဲ့ကိုပေါ့နော်ဒီဘက်မှာ exercise လေးတစ်ခုရှိသေးတယ်ဒီဒါခုပြောရင်ပြမယ်နော် Have you copied all the answers? Have you copied all the answers? Yes. Chichu, have you copied?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. And then do then we will check this one. Teacher ဒါလေးအပေါ်တက်လိုက်နော်အဲ့တော့ဘာပြောထားတာလဲဆို number 5 is a writing. Write a summary in 4 paragraphs or the extra add from the documentary. So you listen one more time. This is number 5, right? Track 5. Track number 5, no? Write a summary in 4 paragraphs or the extra add from the documentary. The first paragraph has been done for you. So the first paragraph is already been. So you have to summarize with the full information. ဒီချက်ဒီမှာလိုမျိုးမဟုတ်ဘူးเนาะ information အပြည့်အစုံလေးနဲ့ရေးပြရမှာเนาะခုနကတော့ကြားထားတဲ့ထဲက information တွေပေါ့เนาะအကုန် direct ကို copy ကူးခိုင်းတာမဟုတ်เนาะကိုယ့်ရဲ့ပုံစံနဲ့ကိုရေးခိုင်းတာเนาะ flags တို့ papyrus တို့ဘာလို့မလဲပြီးရင် defense ဆိုရင်ဘယ်လိုသူတို့ကဘာလို့ defense ကအဆင်ပြေရလဲ transport ဆိုရှင်လဲ transportation မှာဆိုဘာတွေလုပ်လဲပေါ့เนาะအဲ့ဒါဆိုရင်အဲ့ဥစ္စာလေးတစ်ချက်ကိုရေးခဲ့ပေးပါဒီပြင်စနေနေ့ထပ်ပေးပါဘာလို့ဆိုစနေနေ့ထပ်တဲ့အခါကျရင်တရားအောင်ပြန်ထပ်ပေးပါเนาะဒါလို့နောက်ကျရဆိုလဲတနင်္ဂနွေနေ့ပေါ့တယောက်နှစ်ယောက်လောက်နောက်ကျရဆိုလဲเนาะဒီချက်ပြန်စစ်မှမလို့အဲ့တော့ထပ်ပေးပါအင်စာတွေကိုထပ်ပါเนาะဒီ writing ကပိုရေးကြည့်ပါတယ်မထက်လို့ရှိရင်ဒီချက်မထက်မချင်းနာမည်ခေါ်ပြီးပြောနေမှာเนาะဒီဥစ္စာကိုတော့အခု writing အသေးလေးစာရေးပြီးနောက်ပိုင်းဆိုနည်းနည်းပိုကြည့်တဲ့ဥစ္စာရေးပါเนาะ
ကဲ writing ရေးပြန်ပြောပြပါလား
writing
ရေးရဘယ်လိုပြန်ပြောပြပါလား
ဒီကျဒီလိုပဲတဒီမှာတော့ကြတော့ကြိုက်တယ်လို့ရေးထားနေအောင် flags to papyrus တို့ကိုဒီမှာဆိုဒီချက်ပြောပြမယ်เนาะ example လေးပြောပြမယ်เนาะအဲ့တော့ဒီဟာကဟိုလို writing အကြီးမရေးသေးဘူးဒါဗာသိချင်တာဒီ writing ဒီရေးတဲ့ဒီအခု example ပေးတဲ့ဥစ္စာကိုသိချင်တာ
Yes sir
ဟုတ်ပြီဒါဆိုရင်ဒီချက်ပြောပြမယ်เนาะအဲ့တော့ဒီနေ့ example ပေးမဲ့ writing ကဘာလဲဆိုတော့သူ့မှာ four ways in which Nile was important for the ancient Egyptians. Ancient Egyptians တွေအတွက်အတော်ဝင်တဲ့ Nile မြစ်ရဲ့အတော်ဝင်မှု၄ခုရှိရပေါ့နော်အရေးပါမှု၄ခုရှိရအဲ့ထဲမှာကျတော့ food ကိုသူရေးပေးထားတယ်အဲ့တော့ food နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးဘယ်လိုအတော်ဝင်တာလဲဆိုတာကြည့်ကြည့်အောင် The Nile was a source of food. Nile ကတကယ်တော့သူတို့ရဲ့အစားအသောက်ရဲ့အချင်းမြစ်ဖြစ်တဲ့အဲ့တော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ပုံစံနဲ့ကိုရေးလို့ရတယ်နော် Fish was the main source of animal protein. Fish တွေက main animal protein ရဲ့ main source ဖြစ်တဲ့ for most people လူတွေတော်တော်များများအတွက်လည်းဒါ protein ဖြစ်ဘယ်လိုလဲ အသားဓာတ်ရတဲ့ဥစ္စာပေါ့နော်ပြီးရင် cereals fruit and vegetables were grown cereal fruits တွေ vegetable တွေကိုစိုက်ပျိုးခဲ့တယ် on the bank of the Nile နိုင်မြစ်ရဲ့သူရဲ့ဗာလဲနိုင်မြစ်ကနှစ်ခုမှာစိုက်ပျိုးခဲ့တယ်ဒါဆိုဒီ food အတွက် listening မှာပြောထားတဲ့ဥစ္စာကိုပြန်ရေးပေးတာကိုနားလဲတယ်လို့အဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲ plus တွေ papyrus တွေကိုဘယ်လိုပြောပြထားလဲ listening မှာပြန်နားထောင်မယ်ပြီးတဲ့အခါမှာအဲ့ဒါလေးပြန်ရေးခဲ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခုက defense ဆိုတာကျတော့ကာကွယ်ရေးပေါ့နော်ဟိုကာကွယ်ရေးမှာဆိုရင်နိုင်မြစ်ကဘယ်လိုအရေးပါလဲဘယ်လိုကာကွယ်ပေးတာလဲဆိုတာကိုရေးခဲ့မယ်ပြီးရင် transport လည်းအဲ့လိုပဲအဲ့တော့နိုင်မြစ်ကသူကဘာဖြစ်လို့ Egyptian တွေအတွက် transportation မှာဆိုရင်နိုင်မြစ်ကအရေးပါဆိုတော့ဂျေချောင်းကနေပြောသူကကုန်သွယ်လို့ရတယ်เนาะအဲ့ဒါကိုအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုရေးထားအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုပြောထားတာရှိတယ်ကျတို့ audio ထဲမှာပြန်နားထောင်ပြီးရတဲ့အခါကျလို့ရှင်ဒီဥစ္စာအတွက်ကို summary လေးရေးခဲ့ပြီပါအများကြီးရေးစရာမလိုဘူးတစ်ခုကိုဆိုလို့ရှင်2ကြောင်းစီလောက်ပဲရေးရမှာပေါ့နော်2ကြောင်းသူနဲ့သူ့မှာပေးထားတဲ့ information အထိပဲရေးရမှာပို့မရေးရလားညီခဲ့ရလား
ဟုတ်ကဲ့
ဒါနော်အဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီချက်ကိုအကုန်လုံးဒီဥစ္စာလေးပို့ပြအများကြီးမဟုတ်ဘူးเนาะဒါ2ကြောင်း3ကြောင်းလောက်စီပဲရှိရယ် listening ပြန်နားထောင်ပါเนาะ listening ကဟို link ရှိရယ်เนาะအကုန်လုံးရှိရယ်เนาะပြန်ပို့ပေးရအောင်မလား
ဒီချက်ပြန်ပို့ပေးပါ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပြန်ပို့ပေးမယ်เนาะပြန်ပို့ပေးလိုက်မယ်အဲ့ link လေးကဘာလဲဆိုတော့ track 5เนาะ track 5ကိုနားထောင်ရတယ်เนาะပြီးရင်စနေနေ့ကြောက်ရှင်အဲ့ဒါလေးထပ်ပြီးเนาะချက်ပေးထားတဲ့ answer summary ရမယ်ဥစ္စာလေးထပ်ပြီး Is there any question concerned with the lesson? No. I am hungry lah. Nika, are you okay? Is there any question concerned with the lesson?
No chair
ဟုတ်ပြီတကယ်လို့ညီကမရှင်းသေးဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီချက်ကိုဒီဟို Viber မှာလည်းလာမေးလို့ရတယ်เนาะဒါဟုတ်ပြီ Then thank you very very much for coming today and learning the all lessons together. We will see on Monday again. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
bye
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye, teacher.
Teacher.